Hi, I'm Daniel from Solar Choice, Australia's leading independent quote comparison platform for solar, EV chargers, heat pumps and batteries. And this is another video in our series on electric vehicle charging for apartments, specifically focusing on billing and payment platforms. Now, in a perfect world, you won't actually need a billing platform for your charger in your apartment building, because in a perfect world, your charger will be connected to your own apartment's electricity supply. If that's possible in your building, fantastic, you're in luck, and you won't really need to worry too much about payments because the electricity you use to charge your vehicle will be part of your normal electricity bill that you have for your apartment. So as long as you pay your bills on time, you won't run into any trouble. But there are a number of reasons why some apartments won't be able to connect their apartment's EV chargers to the meters for each individual lot. And you can see a previous video in this series that goes into detail about connecting to different types of meters. Now, for most apartments, you will be connecting EV chargers to the common or house electricity supply, most likely because it's located near or maybe even in the car park. So for cost reasons, it makes sense to connect to that common supply. Or if you're in an apartment building that's only going to have 1 or 2 chargers for all the residents to use, they'll also need to connect to the common power supply. So how do we make sure that the EV driver is paying for the electricity they use and reimbursing the body corporate who's actually owning and paying that electricity account? Well, there are a few options and they're pretty simple these days. One of them is a simple card reader. There are some chargers that have a credit card reader like a tap and go pass or a swipe, so that when a driver pulls up and wants to charge their vehicle, all they need to do is pull out their credit card or their phone to start their charging session. And as long as their credit card is valid, they'll be charged at the time, and then the body corporate will be reimbursed at the end of the month or the end of the billing period for the electricity that's being used in that session. Some other chargers have software built in, so that the EV driver can use either an app, a QR code, or even a fob to activate the charger and start their charging session. As long as they've got some sort of payment details connected, they can then swipe or press a button or use the QR code to start the electricity flowing into their car, and then when they close their session, they'll be charged instantly and the body corporate reimburse at the end of the billing period. It is important to understand that these companies providing billing services are businesses and they do need to make money. So when you're looking at what the right fit is for your building, it really pays to look at the fine print and understand what fees am I going to be charged as a driver and what fees is the body corporate going to be charged to have access to this billing software. There are a few different business models that these companies use and a few different ways that they charge fees. The first one is an annual subscription charged to the building, the body corporate, for access to the billing platform for that charger to be there and working. Sometimes they also charge subscription fees to each EV driver to be registered on their system, to have their details on the system, and that might be a monthly or an annual fee. Something to consider: if you're a building with 200 apartments and lots of potential drivers that are going to be accessing that charger, especially over the years as EV uptake increases, that might not make sense because every single driver is going to be charged that fee, which will add up to thousands of dollars a year. That might not be the best fit for your building. In addition to subscription fees, you may also be charged a commission, and the commissions can either be per kilowatt hour of electricity that flows into the car, or sometimes a commission on the dollar value of the transaction when a vehicle is charged. So it really does make sense to do your homework, figure out how many EV drivers are going to be using the building in the near term, medium term and long term, how are all those fees going to add up, and then figure out what is the best solution for your building. But even though there are these fees, it is really important to remember that for almost every resident who does buy an EV, whether that's soon or further down the track, it's going to be much cheaper for them to charge in your apartment building's car park than it is to go down the road to the shopping centre or to a service station and use a fast charger there. So do your homework, and you can figure out what the right solution is for your specific building. I hope you found this video helpful, and make sure you stay tuned for the rest of the series covering other aspects of EV charging in apartment buildings.